The Roman Empire is one of the most important and powerful civilizations in history. It lasted for over 1,000 years, influencing many aspects of our modern world. The Roman Empire was known for its strong military, impressive architecture, advanced technology, and complex government. The story of Rome is full of legendary leaders, wars, and dramatic events that helped shape the world we live in today. This summary will take you through the rise, peak, and fall of the Roman Empire, highlighting the most important events, people, and achievements. The founding of Rome. According to Roman mythology, the city of Rome was founded in 753 BCE by Romulus, who was the first king of Rome. The story says that Romulus and his twin brother Remus were abandoned as babies and raised by a she-wolf. Romulus eventually killed Remus and named the city after himself. While this is a myth, historians believe that Rome began as a small village on the banks of the Tiber River in Italy. The early Romans were influenced by neighboring civilizations, especially the Etruscans, who ruled over Rome for a time. The Romans learned many things from the Etruscans, including architecture and religious practices. The Roman Republic. In 509 BCE, the Romans overthrew their Etruscan kings and established a republic. A republic is a form of government where the citizens elect their leaders rather than having a king or queen. In the Roman Republic, there were two main groups of people: the patricians, wealthy, powerful families, and the plebeians, commoners like farmers and workers. The Roman government was made up of three main parts: the Senate, which was a council of wealthy and powerful Romans; the magistrates, who were elected officials that ran the day-to-day operations; and the assemblies, groups of citizens who voted on important issues. Rome also had consuls, two leaders who were elected to serve for 1 year. The consuls were in charge of the army and the government. If the Roman Republic was in danger, they could appoint a dictator, a leader with absolute power, but only for 6 months. One of the most famous Roman dictators was Cincinnatus, a farmer who gave up power as soon as his job was done, which made him a model of Roman virtue. The expansion of Rome. Rome did not stay a small city-state for long. Through a series of wars and alliances, the Romans expanded their territory across Italy. One of the key moments in Roman history was the Punic Wars, a series of 3 wars fought between Rome and the city-state of Carthage in North Africa. The most famous of the Punic Wars was the Second Punic War, from 218 until 201 BCE, where the Carthaginian general Hannibal led his army, including war elephants, across the Alps to invade Italy. Despite Hannibal's successes in Italy, Rome eventually won the war. By the end of the Punic Wars, Rome had destroyed Carthage and gained control of large parts of the Mediterranean, including Spain and North Africa. Julius Caesar and the end of the Republic. As Rome grew more powerful, its leaders became more ambitious. One of the most famous Romans was Julius Caesar, a brilliant general and politician. Caesar became very popular among the Roman people because of his military victories, especially in Gaul, what is modern-day France. However, many in the Senate were afraid of Caesar's power. In 49 BCE, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River with his army, which was a declaration of war against the Roman Senate. This led to a civil war. Caesar won the war and became the dictator of Rome. In 44 BCE, Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators who feared he would become a king. After Caesar's death, Rome fell into chaos. A series of civil wars broke out between Caesar's supporters and his enemy. Eventually, Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, emerged as the victor. In 27 BCE, Octavian became the first emperor of Rome and took the name Augustus. The Roman Empire begins. The rise of Augustus marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Augustus ruled as emperor for over 40 years and brought peace and stability to Rome after years of civil war. This period of peace is known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace, and it lasted for about 200 years. During the Pax Romana, Rome reached the height of its power. The empire stretched from Britain in the north to Egypt in the south, and from Spain in the west to the Middle East in the east. Roman culture, language, which was Latin, and laws spread across the empire. Rome was famous for its roads, which connected cities and helped the military move quickly across the empire. The Romans also built aqueducts to bring fresh water to their cities, as well as baths, theaters, and arenas like the famous Colosseum. Life in the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was made up of many different cultures and peoples. While Latin was the official language in the western part of the empire, many people in the eastern part spoke Greek. Rome was a melting pot of different ideas, religions, and traditions. At the heart of the Roman Empire was the city of Rome itself, which became one of the largest cities in the world. It was home to magnificent buildings like the Pantheon and the Forum, where important political and social events took place. Roman society was divided into different classes. At the top were the patricians and wealthy elites, while the plebeians made up the working class. Below them were slaves, who had no rights and were often forced to work in harsh conditions. Slavery was common in the Roman Empire, and slaves were used for farming, mining, and household work. Emperors and the Roman army. The Roman Empire was ruled by emperors, and some of them became very famous, either for their achievements or for their cruelty. Here are a few notable emperors. Augustus, the first emperor who brought stability and prosperity to Rome. Nero, known for his cruelty and the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE. Trajan expanded the empire to its greatest size. Hadrian built Hadrian's Wall in Britain to keep out invaders. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher emperor known for his wisdom. The Roman army was one of the most powerful in the ancient world. It was made up of legions, groups of around 5,000 soldiers who were well trained and disciplined. The armies helped to protect the empire's borders and maintain order within the empire. The rise of Christianity. One of the most important developments during the Roman Empire was the rise of Christianity. In the early years of the empire, most Romans worshipped many gods and goddesses, such as Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. However, in the 1st century CE, a new religion called Christianity began to spread. Christianity was based on the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified by the Romans around 30 CE. His followers believed that he was the Messiah, or Savior, and that he had risen from the dead. Despite initial persecution by Roman authorities, Christianity continued to grow. In 313 CE, the Emperor Constantine made Christianity legal with the Edict of Milan, and by the end of the 4th century, it became the official religion of the Roman Empire. The decline of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was powerful, but it faced many problems, especially after the Pax Romana ended. Some of the issues that contributed to the decline of the empire included political instability. After the death of Emperor Marcus Aurelius in 180 CE, Rome experienced a series of weak and corrupt rulers. Economic problems. Heavy taxes and inflation hurt the economy, and the cost of maintaining a large army drained resources. Barbarian invasions. Various groups, like the Visigoths, Huns, and Vandals, attacked the Roman Empire, especially its western provinces. In 410 CE, the Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked the city of Rome. This was a huge blow to the empire, though it didn't fall completely at that time. The fall of the Western Roman Empire. The Roman Empire eventually became so large that it was difficult to govern. In 285 CE, Emperor Diocletian divided the empire into two parts: the Western Roman Empire, with its capital in Rome, and the Eastern Roman Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, what is today modern-day Istanbul. While the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, survived for nearly 1,000 more years, the Western Roman Empire continued to weaken. In 476 CE, the last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown by a Germanic king.